Let's all just calm down. It's your turn.
Can I pass it?
What do you say? He passes. That's his privilege. How about the next gentleman?
Oh, well, I don't know. I started to be conventional very early in the case.
When you look at it, what more is there to say?
Excuse me. See, I'm looking for a motive, right? That's very important. If you don't have a motive, you don't have a case, right? So anyway, that's why that testimony from those people across the hall, that lived across the hall in the apartment across from the kid, well...
That was very powerful. Didn't they say something about a fight, an argument between the old man and his son around about 7 o'clock that night? I mean, I could be wrong, but
It was 8 o'clock. It was 8 o'clock.
They heard the argument, but they couldn't tell what the argument was about. Then they heard the father hit the son twice, and then later they saw the son walk out of the apartment angrily. But what does it prove?
Well, it doesn't exactly prove anything. I'm just saying.
it's just part of the
You
picture.
said it provided a motive, and the prosecuting attorney said the same thing. I don't think that was a very strong motive.
To me, it's a very weak motive. This boy has been hit so many times that violence is a normal part of his life.
I can't see 2 slaps in the face provoking him into committing murder.
It may have been too many. Everyone has a breaking point.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. How about you?
I don't know. It's all been said. Can talk here forever. It's still the same thing.
I mean, this kid's 0 for 5, huh? I mean, look at his record. At 10, he's in juvenile court. He threw a rock at the teacher.
When he was 15 years old, he was in reform school. He stole a car. He's been arrested for mugging. He's picked up twice for knife fighting.
He's real good with that switchblade, you know. Everybody said that. This is a real fine boy.
Ever since he was 5 years old, his father's beat him up regularly. He used his fist.
Well, so would I. A kid like that?
It's these kids, the way they are.
Nowadays, angry, hostile. You can't do a damn thing with them. Look at the way they talk.
When I was a kid, I used to call my father Sir. That's right, Sir. You ever hear a kid call his father that anymore?
Fathers don't seem to think that's important anymore.
No. You got any kid?
2.
I got one.
22 years old. When he was 9 years old, he ran away from a fight. I saw it. I was so embarrassed, I almost threw up.
I told him right out, I'm going to make a man out of you, or I'm going to bust you into little pieces. Try it.
I made a man out of him, all right. When he was 16, we got into a battle. He hit me in the face.
Hit me in the jaw. He's a big kid. Kids, you work your heart out. I haven't seen him in 3 years. Come on, let's get on with it.
We're missing the point here. We're not dealing with juvenile delinquency. This boy, let's say he's the product of a filthy neighborhood and a broken home. We can't help that.
We are here to decide whether he is guilty or innocent of murder, not to go into reasons why he grew up this way.
He was born in a slum. Slums are breeding grounds for criminals. I know it, and so do you.
Children from slum backgrounds are potential menaces to society.
Hey, now look, you can say that again. All right, see, the kids that crawl out of these places are nothing but trash.
I don't want any part of them, I'm telling you.
Listen,
I lived in a slum all my life. I nursed that trash in Harlem Hospital 6 nights a week.
I used to play in a backyard that was filled with garbage.
Maybe you can still smell it on me.
Now listen, Sonny.
Come on now.
Yeah?
Look, there's nothing personal here. We're...
Nothing personal.
There is something personal.
Oh, no.
Oh, come on, fella. He didn't mean you. Let's not be so sensitive.
I can understand this sensitivity.
Look, let's stop this bickering.
It's just wasting time. Now, it's your turn. Let's go.
Me? I didn't expect a turn.
I thought you were all going to try to convince me. Wasn't that the idea?
Check, that was the idea.
I forgot about that.
No, I mean, what's the difference? He's the one that's keeping us here. Let's see what he's got to say.
Wait a minute. We decided we're going to do this a certain way. Let's stick to what we said.
Look, come on, stop treating us like kids.
Well, yeah. What do you mean a kid?
Well, what do you think I mean? K-I-D, kid.
Kids, what are you talking about?
Just what I said.
What, just because I'm trying to keep things organized here? Shh. Well, listen. Oh, you want to do this? Here. You sit here.
You know, you take on the responsibility. I'll keep my mouth shut, that's all. What are you getting so hot about? Calm down, will you?
Don't tell me to calm down. Here's the chair. You keep things running smooth and everything. You think it's a snap? Come on, Mr. Foreman. Let's see how great you run the show.
You ever seen anything like that before?
Oh, you think it's funny now, huh?
Take it easy.
Listen, you think it's funny or something?
Forget it, fella. The whole thing's unimportant. Come on.
Unimportant? Well, here, you try it.
No, look, you're doing a beautiful job. Nobody wants to make a chance. Beautiful job.
I'm trying. What you doing?
Come on, now. You're doing great. Just great, fella.
Let's hear from somebody.
Excuse me, gentlemen, if you would like to hear how I feel about all of this.
It's all right with me.
Boy, I don't care what you do.
All right, I don't have anything brilliant. I only know as much as you do.
From the testimony, the boy looks guilty.
Yeah, you can say that again.
All right, now maybe he is, but...
I sat there in court for 6 days listening while the evidence built up. Everybody sounded so positive. You know, I began to get a peculiar feeling about this trial. I mean, nothing is that positive.
Nothing. I had a bunch of questions I wanted to ask, but I don't know if they would have meant anything or not. I don't know.
I felt that the boys, or the counsel for the defense, didn't make a thorough enough cross-examination. There were too many questions left unasked.
He let too many things go by, little things that...
What little things?
What do you mean, little things? Look, when these guys don't ask questions, it's because they know the answer and they figure that they'll probably get hurt by it.
Maybe it's also possible for a lawyer to be just plain stupid, isn't it? I mean, it's possible.
Sounds like you met my brother-in-law.
I kept putting myself in the kid's place. I'd have asked for another lawyer, I think.
I mean, if I'm on trial for my life, I would want my lawyer to take all of the prosecution's witnesses and just tear them to shreds. Or try.
Look, there was one alleged eyewitness to this killing. Someone else claims he heard the killing, saw the boy run out afterwards, and there was a lot of circumstantial evidence. But actually, those two witnesses were the entire case for the prosecution. Supposing they're wrong.
What do you mean, supposing they're wrong? What's the point of having witnesses at all?
Could they be wrong?
They took the stand under oath. What are you trying to say?
They're only people. People make mistakes. Could they be wrong?
No, I don't think so.
Do you know so?
Oh, come on. Nobody can know a thing like that. This isn't an exact science.
That's right, it isn't.
Okay, let's get to the point. What about the switch knife?
They found in the father's chest.
Wait a minute. Don't you think we ought to... Well,
If there's some people who haven't talked yet, shouldn't we go in order?
They'll get a chance to talk. Just be quiet a second, will you? What about it?
Let's talk about that cute little switch knife. You know, the one that nice, honest kid admitted buying.
All right, let's talk about that.
Let's get it in here and look at it. I'd like to see it again.
Mr. Foreman?
We all know what it looks like. I don't see why we have to look at it again.
You brought it up.
The gentleman has a right to see exhibits and evidence.
We're gonna need that knife.
The knife and the way it was bought?
Is pretty strong evidence, don't you think, though?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now, suppose we take these facts one at a time. One, the boy admitted going out of the house at 8 o'clock on the night of the murder after being slapped several times by his father.
No, he didn't say slapped. He said punched.
There's a difference between a slap and a punch.
After being hit several times by his father. Two, he went directly to a neighborhood junk shop where he bought one of those...
switch knives.
Switchblade knives.
This wasn't what you'd call an ordinary knife. It had a very unusual carved handle, yes.
Why did the boy get it? As a present for a friend of his, he says.
The storekeeper who sold it to him identified the knife in court and said,
It was the only one of its kind he had ever had in stock.
3, he met some friends of his in front of a tavern about 8:45. Am I right so far?
Yes, you are.
You bet he is.
Now listen to this man. He knows what he's talking about. Next.
The boy talked with his friends for about an hour, leaving them at 9:45. During this time, they saw the switchblade knife.
4, they identified the death weapon in court as that very same knife.
The boy arrived home at about 10 o'clock. Now, this is where the stories offered by the boy and the state begin to diverge slightly.
He claims that he went to a movie at about 11:30, returning home at 3:10 to find his father dead and himself arrested.
Now, what happened to the switchblade knife? And this is a charming and imaginative little fable that the boy invented.
The boy claims on the way home the knife must have dropped through a hole in his pocket because he never saw it again. Now, there's a story, gentlemen.
Sometime between 11:30 and 3:50, while he was on his trip to the movie, and that he never saw it again. No.
I think it's quite clear that the boy never went to the movies that night.
No one in the house saw him go out at 11:30. No one at the theater identified him.
He couldn't even remember the names of the pictures he saw.
You all know what happened. The boy took the knife home, and a few hours later stabbed his father, and even remembered to wipe off the fingerprints.
Please give me the knife.
Everyone connected with the case has identified this knife.
Now, are you trying to tell me that this knife really fell through a hole in the boy's pockets?
That someone picked it up off the street, went to the boy's house,
and stabbed the father just to be amusing?
No, I'm just saying that it is possible that the boy lost the knife and that somebody else stabbed his father with a similar knife. I just say it's possible.
It's possible.
Take a look at that knife.
It's a very unusual knife.
I've never seen one like it. Neither has the storekeeper who sold it to the boy.
Aren't you trying to make us accept a pretty incredible piece of coincidence?
I'm just saying a coincidence is possible.
And I say...
It's not possible.
What are you trying to do? Who do you think you are?
Hey, what is this? Where'd you get that?
You are.
Everybody, please.
Look at it. Look at it. It's the same knife. Where did you get it?
I went out walking for a couple of hours last night.
Now, just thinking. It was in the boy's neighborhood.
I bought that in a little pawn shop just 2 blocks from the boy's house.
It cost $25.
It's against the law to buy or sell switchblade knives.
That's right, I broke the law.
Now listen to me. You pulled a real smart trick here, but you proved absolutely zero. Maybe there are 10 knives like that. So what?
Maybe there are.
I mean, so you got the same kind of knife. What is that, the discovery of the age or something?
You mean you're asking us to believe that somebody else did the stabbing with exactly the same kind of knife?
Come on, the odds are 1,000,000 to 1.
It's possible.
Oh, it's possible. Anything's possible.
Not very probable.
Okay, fellas, let's take our seats.
There's no point milling around here.
It's very interesting that he should find a knife exactly...
Like the one the boy bought.
What's interesting about it? Interesting.
I don't know. I just thought it was interesting.
There are still 11 of us in here who think he's guilty.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think you're going to accomplish?
If you get stubborn and hang this jury, they'll just try the kid again and find him guilty as sure as he's born.
Probably right.
So what are you going to do? You know, we can be here all night.
It's only one night.
A boy may die.
Oh, brother. Anybody got a deck of cards?
You get a pinochle deck, and we'll just sweat the whole thing out, right?
I don't think he ought to joke about it.
What do you want me to do?
Oh, listen, I don't see what all this stuff about a knife has got to do with anything. Somebody saw the kid stab his father. What more do we need? You guys can talk the ears right off my head. You know what I mean?
Well, I got 3 car washers out here going to the park, and we're sitting up in here talking. Yeah. Come on, let's get done with this so we can get out of here.
Excuse me, but...
The knife was very important to the district attorney. He spent a whole day.
Come on, that guy was a 15th assistant or something. What does he know?
I think we should get on with it. These side arguments only slow us up. Now, what about it?
You are the only one.
proposition to make to all of you. I want to call for another vote. I want you 11 men to vote by secret written ballot. I'll abstain.
And if there are still 11 votes for guilty, I won't stand alone anymore. We'll take in a guilty verdict right away.
But if anyone votes not guilty, then we stay and talk.
Well, that's it. If you want to try it, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it the hard way.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Everyone agreed? Anyone doesn't agree? Fine, let's go. Here, pass these along.
Is that the right time?